everyone. I have, it's really hot. It's Sunday the 9th, I guess, and it is a really, really warm day. So I got in an early weight session, but I'm feeling a real tightness in my lower spine. Those who know me understand that throughout lockdown I've been experiencing this new persistent tightness in my lumbar spine. So I'm working on trying to release that. So today I'm doing a super quick, because it's, as I said, really hot, little release session. So what you'll need is just a tea towel, which you'll put in, hold the diagonals and just whip it round, and we'll just do a bit of stretching into the legs, and also two tennis balls, which we will, after starting off with a release, we will use these on the glutes. Okay, so hopefully these will still be around in a little while. Let's get to it. So I want you to start laying on your back. We're going to start with just some bridging. I'm going to put these here under safekeeping. So lay down. Bring your pelvis into a neutral position. So what I mean by that is the two SIS bones, two bony bits in the front of the hip, and your pubic bone are all on the same level, or aligned on the front of the body. So if you have to put your fingers into a triangle shape like that, you could place them on those three bony prominences and it will be all nice and lined up. So from here, take the arms long and just reach them away. So just reach the fingertips towards the heels. The feet are hip width apart. There goes one of my balls. A hip width apart, and your knees are in line with your hip joints also. So reach the arms away and just hold here for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And then slowly exhale through the mouth. And again, take a big breath in through the nose. Relax the shoulders if you can. And exhale again through the mouth. So we're going to move into our bridge on our next exhale, so take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to think about pulling the pubic bone towards the sternum. And as you do that, you create this activation of the front of the body, and the back of the body comes down onto the mat. Push through the heels and the feet and slowly roll up through the spine. So you can do a really small spinal curl here or pelvic curl here, and just come out of that if you wish, or you can go up into a higher bridge. We're just going to do a few. You move on the exhale, gather in through the front, roll through the body and lift. Come up nice and high if you wish. If it feels all right, take a breath in at the top, and then start from the sternum, back of the rib cage, rolling down all the way through. Into neutral, take a breath. We'll do two more, just to start things off. And lift, take a breath, and slowly down. And on this last one, I just want you to stay relatively low. So we're not going to go into a total high bridge. I want you just to connect through the front of the body, cover maybe about halfway. Arms remain down. And then as you exhale, I want you to drop the right hip down. So it's like you're just dropping, you're taking all the weight out of this leg and just dropping the hip down. So your left leg is taking the weight. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, push through this foot and lift back into alignment, and then over to the other side. Breathing in, exhale, drop. And push. And drop. Breathing in, and then exhale, lift. Do one more on each side, drop. Take a breath, exhale, push through the foot, lift up. Last one, drop it down. Take a breath in, push through the heel, lift back up, take a breath, and then slowly roll down through the spine, all the way through into your neutral position again. I'd like you to move your hands and just place them on the hips and just bring them back into this neutral position, making sure that you're in alignment. Now, I didn't take good enough attention to my tennis balls, and one has disappeared with the puppy. So I'm going to continue on with just one ball. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to place the ball just underneath the top of my pelvis. So if you think about the back of your pelvis has the two bony ridges that go across. I want to sit the tennis ball just underneath that bony ridge, okay? So not on the bone, but just underneath. So say I had another ball here, then the other one would go in the same place. So in the middle, just underneath the bony ridge on the meaty part of the glute, upper glute. And I'm going to come down and place the ball there and bring myself back into my neutral position. So for some of you, this may feel pretty full on to start off with, okay? So just take your time, find that position, and then all I want you to do is do little pelvic tucks and then coming back into neutral. So again, think about using the front of the body to create that. So pull the muscles together, and as a result, the lumbar spine will come closer to the floor, and you'll feel that movement of the pelvis on the ball, of the glutes on the ball, nice and slowly. So you can stay here for as long as you like and just move up and into neutral and then into a posterior tilt. And then what I'd like you to do is just move from side to side. So you're now, it's kind of like a hula movement, just a very small one. That's what it reminds me of. Just taking the hips from side to side. So the tennis balls move across the upper glute as you go from side to side. And again, you can just stay here for as long as you like, just releasing those off. If you find any spots that you feel need a little bit more attention, then just leave the ball there and just hold and just sit and just release it off and allow it just to melt away if that's what it feels. Okay? Just roll with it. And now I'm going to move the ball down to either side of my sacral joints, the SI joints, the big bony bit in the middle of the pelvis. Okay, so your glutes at either side, and I want you to place the ball on the fleshy bit just on the outside of that, and just sit and hold that position for a while. So this feels amazing for my right hip. I have an incredibly tight right hip, which is where I think my lumbar spine tightness is coming from. So I'm just going to sit here for a little while. I'm going to move my feet together and my knees together with both balls either side of the sacral joint, and then just do some small movements of the knees from side to side. And just allow, as I breathe, for the ball to get a little bit deeper into that soft tissue either side of the bony parts of the pelvis. Okay, so always work on the muscles, the tissues. And then I'm just going to hold, and again you can stay there for as long as you like, but because we're just doing a quick video, I'm going to continue on. I want you to lift up and move the balls into the middle, real meaty bit of the bum, okay, the really fleshy bit of the bum in the middle. So you've got your greater trochanter, which is the big bony bit on the outside of the thigh, and then the sacral joint that we were just talking about, and what we're doing is going to target the muscles either side of that. So take the feet back out, just hip width apart, hands back out, and now I want you to go back into that hula girl type swinging of the hips side to side, and you allow the tennis ball. Is that for me? Hey? Thank you very much. Lovely. There we go. So I'm going to swing. That's better. Don't feel so lopsided now. I'm just going to hula hips from side to side as I just go through the external rotators of the hip. Now, for some, again, this can feel very strong. So just take your time. I have lots of quite sore bits across my hips, so I'm just going to find those and just hold there. Ow. Excuse me, you've got claws on the end of those. And then again, start the movement from side to side. Good, reach and reach. So I'm just going to hold here again because I just have a couple of points on the external rotators, actually on both sides, and I can, as soon as I sit on that, I can really feel that release into the muscles. So I'm just going to hold here for a moment and try and enjoy, in the loosest sense of the term, that release. You do need to be a little bit brave to be using tennis balls on your bum, but I personally find them a really effective way of helping release them off. I know. Right, so that's enough of that. So again, you can continue on as long as you like. Slowly lift up. I want you to come back into your bridge and then hold here, take a breath, and then slowly come out of your bridge, laying the spine down. And then bring your legs in, give it a little bit of a tug, take it down over to the other side, bring it in, a little bit of a tug, and then bring both in, and again, just, this is lovely just from a lower spine and a glute perspective. What is that? Stone. Don't need that puppy. Have the ball. And then take that down. So we're going to move on to just some hip movement, but also just focusing on the stability of the body. So I'm going to take my hands and place them back on the ASIS bones, bring my pelvis into neutral, and then just bring my right leg into a single knee fold. So my knee is above my hip here, directly above, and my foot is out from that. I'm going to create, this is a modified leg circle or hip circle. I'm just going to take the knee in towards the my other knee, just slowly, and create these small circles. So what I'm concentrating on here is the mobility of the hip joint, just loosening that off. But what I'm also trying to do is keep my spine and pelvis in a neutral position. Rather than allow it moving around, I'm trying to keep it nice and strong and hold. And now I'm going to go back the other way. So there is an absolute focus on the stability of the trunk whilst you create this movement of the hip. A couple more. And then bring the leg up, and I want you to cross it over. Take the hands down and then drop the legs from side to side. So just drop them as far as you want. I'm going to take the arms out to the side to try and keep my shoulders down because I want the movement to come from my lower part of my body. It feels really nice, just loosen it off. And with the weight, it just creates a little bit more lengthening. Come back into centre, uncross your legs, take your pelvis back into neutral, think about stability of the trunk, lifting the leg back up, and we'll go in towards the knee to start off with. Circular movements of the hip, whilst keeping the rest of the body as still as you can and keeping the pelvis in neutral. Come back into centre and then back, reversing that same movement. I feel a little bit clunky in this hip today. And just feel that I'm moving around a bit, so I'm just going to try and stabilise the body a bit more. Bring the leg up, cross, and again taking the arms out to the side and just dropping the legs down. Feel that nice lengthening through the back of the spine, into the hip. Keep the shoulders down, just work the lower part of the body. Come back into centre. We're just going to do a quick stretch, and this is where we're going to use our towel, and then we'll finish up. So I've made the towel, so I got it in the diagonal corners, and then just whipped it round to create a nice tool or prop to stretch the legs. So I'm going to take the tea towel and place it underneath my left foot. Keep the leg bent to take a breath, and I've got the lumbar spine down on the mat. And as I exhale, I'm going to straighten the leg and give it a nice stretch. And then inhale, come back in. So I feel okay on this leg, the other leg less so. I'm just going to do 4 or 5 of these. Let's just do 4, but again you can do as many as you like. Remember to try and keep the back of the body down. What I mean by that is your tailbones, when you lift your leg, you're not lifting up here. And then I'm going to straighten my other leg out and just allow the leg to come out to the side. I'm going to take my opposite arm down and just drop it down, but what I'm not doing is lifting the body up. I'm trying to keep the body down as much as possible and stretch the inner thigh adductors, a little bit of the medial hamstrings. Holding there as long as you like, and then taking the towel, switching over and giving the outer hip a good stretch. Bring the leg as far over as you can. Again, my opposite arm is down on the floor. You may not be able to see it from there. But what I'm getting is a stretch all the way through the side of the hip. Thank you, puppy. And come in and bend and just go over to the other side. So last little bit. I'm wearing shoes here. It's only because I've just finished as I said, a weight session. So you don't have to wear shoes. Shoes, you can just wear your socks or bare feet or what have you. Let me just see if I can get rid of the puppy for a minute. There we go. Where's it gone? Right. Other foot, on the ball of the foot, bend the leg, take the back of the pelvis down, take a breath, and as you exhale, stretch the leg. Ooh. So I can really feel that in this hamstring. I'm just going to hold that there for a moment, and then inhale as I bend the leg, and exhale. So I prefer this more dynamic stretching, moving the leg in and out of length. That's just what my body prefers. You can choose to do a static stretch if you like. I think it really depends on your preference, but you know, the research states there's so many different opinions about what's more effective. So just work with what is right for your body. Stretch and hold. Take the leg nice and long, and we're going to come out into this adductor stretch. So I'm taking my opposite arm down, taking the leg out to the side, and holding there. And again, you can hold there for as long as you like. The ball, where is it? And then we're going to swap over to the other side. So switch hands and focus on the outer hip, the arm out to the side. Come here, puppy. Few breaths here. Each time you breathe, you can just drop the leg down a little bit more. Come here. And see if you can get more stretch in here. And then come back up into the centre, bend the knee, put the foot down. I'm going to put the tea towel to one side, and I'm just going to finish up with a couple of bridges to reset the body. It's coming back into neutral, nice and long with the arms, reach the shoulders away from the ears, take a breath in. And as you exhale, pull. So, quick release of the hips. A little bit of stretching of the hips, starting with our bridging, just rolling through the spine, using the glutes a little bit, hamstrings, legs are in play, and then using the tennis balls to focus on the glute muscles. Now you can, as I said, you can stay and do that for as long as you like, just work whatever needs to be focused on, and then just some stability, work at the trunk whilst moving through the hip joint and stretching those off. Finished off with some really just traditional stretching of the hamstrings, adductors, and outer hip area. So hopefully this is just a nice short session that you can use if you're feeling a little bit tight in the hips and the lumbar spine. I feel loads better after that. I can actually move and feel it without it being too painful or too difficult. So give that a go. You know, send me some feedback. If there are other areas that you would like a video on, then please just get in touch and let me know. Enjoy this sunny, beautiful weather, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.